everyone, and it's KNOTISA, and I'm here to show you what I crocheted and knitted for the entirety of 2024. This box next to me contains everything that I made this year, and I feel like about 95% of the crochet items I currently have, not even including the ones that I already sold, are in here. 95%. So I don't know if this is gonna be quite a long video and if I'm going to explain everything I made, but let's start. I'm gonna start with the small ones all the way up to the bigger ones. So right now, miscellaneous, which is probably just some of my doll stuff. So what I crocheted for my dolls. So first I made this little winter hat inspired by Ron from, I think, Prisoner of Azkaban movie, the Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban movie, for Randy. And it's honestly not that secure on him when I put it on him, so whenever I put him in my bag, it actually, where's my English? It separates from him, but it's really cute. Then the next hat I made, which I think I made during August, was this one. And it's inspired by an idol beanie selfie NCT Jisung, and I made two more for my friends and I gave it to them during my birthday. And then let's move on to this is a Gryffindor scarf for my doll Leo, so let's put it on him. I guess I can show you. It's something like that, but I want to take him to Tokyo Universal Studios. Is it in Tokyo? Universal Studios Japan, just so I can show him off looking like a little Gryffindor student. Then the next one I have is this mini Spider-Man hat that's inspired by Mayday Parker, which is Peter B. Parker's daughter in Spider-Verse. I always had an affinity for Spider-Verse, both the Spider-Verse movies, because it's what inspired me to animate, which is another endeavor I have outside of fiber arts, crochet, and knitting. So I want to incorporate that as much as I can. And it looks so cute on him. I made it really fast during a trip, and then I added on the eyes later on. One more thing for him that I made this year is this little dress. I'm a little lazy to put it on him, but I might pull up a picture around here or something. I don't know. Yeah, I made this for him during my cousin's birthday because I just wanted to give him another piece of clothing, because I haven't been giving him pieces of clothing so far, and I promised I would, so I took that opportunity and made him a little dress. He looked like a little princess for the day. I feel like those are the only ones that are for my dolls that I made this year, so I'll put that aside and move on to the smaller ones that are miscellaneous, which is this. It's just an egg, but it's actually an applique for a hat that I will show you later that's called the Markov hat, another N-Citizen thing, so crazy. But I really like this because I just freehanded this, and it's not that visible on camera, but I put some like watercolor effects to it to make it look a bit toasted. Then I made this other applique, another one of my appliques. It's actually not yet done, misses some arteries or veins, and it's an anatomical heart applique. I just made it out of nowhere. I don't know where I was gonna put this actually, but I assume it's supposed to be like useful for if I want to sew this on like a normal fabric t-shirt like this or something, or like this, that's not crochet. I'm really proud of it because I also just freehanded this. I looked at a few photos of other people doing crochet appliques of anatomical hearts and actual pictures of it, the hearts, and I made this. I also just have swatches of the stuff that I make for my knitwear. I really like keeping things from when I do my testing stage. And then I have these. There are 3 of these scrap yarn bows that I still have to buy barrettes at the back for, so that it like can clip onto your hair stuff. That's cute, right? Like that. So that I can sell it when I go on an art market or craft fair. So yeah, I want to get rid of this. So I want to sell it now. Not to forget, I have this Santa hat for Sunny Angels, but I actually made this for a Smisky as to request from my classmate, and I just happened to have an extra, so I can show it to you, and it looks really cute. And I think the last one that's outside of knitwear is this tapestry. Ow! I made this in the middle of the year, around May, and it's a tapestry of Jake and Sunghoon from ENHYPEN. Another K-pop thing. Yeah, I'm insane. I'm joking, but there's something I'm really proud of. As far as I know, it's around 80 something by 80 single crochet rows, and in height. That's so. And it took a really short time actually, because I was really determined. And it just hangs out in my little box here. And I want to display it maybe on my wall there, or I don't know. It's way too precious to be used as like some kind of placemat or some kind of dining table element. But it's black and white because it's easier that way. The original photo is in color. I think this is from an El Korea issue, and I just really love the composition of it, and I just wanted to make it in crochet because I draw. I mentioned I illustrate, so I wanted to kind of illustrate in my own way using yarn. And this was inspired by, I think I saw Pinterest. Pinterest is really good, a really good instrument for your inspiration in making anything. I think it was a Jujutsu Kaisen tapestry. Yeah, that's it. I have a lot of videos of this one, and you can see the back is not that bad. I did a little bit of floats, but it's not that bad. Let's now move on, finally, to knitwear. But first, it's headwear. So let's start with the headbands. The first knit item, and probably like one of the only ones, because I don't really knit a lot, but I know how to. I guess I learned it this year. I learned how to do garters, stockinette, knitting in the round, which is really easy, by the way, to do when you're not looking. For some reason, easier to do than crochet while not looking. And this one is just garter stitch. Interesting story about this. I used chopsticks to knit this. It was sanitized, okay? I did not eat with the chopstick before I did that. But it was a metal chopstick because wooden is just too hard. That would be too much friction. But I knitted this with a chopstick. Before I even got my first pair of like knitting needles, I made this. And yeah, these little ends are intentional. I wanted to have some little kind of texture element, and this is beads. Really inspired. This was one of the products I made as a test because when I started my knitwear brand. Yeah. And it's funny because such little things, actually, reflection time, such little things could start a whole new path for you. That day or that night, I think it was night, I just saw a TikTok of, it was Dainty Knit. She's a knitwear designer from UK that makes knitwear in Korea. She lives in Korea, but she's British. And then, the frick is that accent? And then she makes stuff for musicians and usually K-pop idols. But I remember seeing that it was Emma Chamberlain, and that really inspired me, like, dang, I could be doing that. I know how to crochet, and then I learned how to knit because of that. So, like, just a simple TikTok made me start dreaming on my own. And I think that's really, life really works really curiously. That's what I notice. Like, everything I show you today is because of me seeing that TikTok and starting to dream. Very emotional. Anyways, next headband, the last headband I think, is this KNOTISA headband. Oh, it's upside down. That's inspired by a ransom note, or you know, the people that like they cut out magazine letters and they use it to make a new letter or for design. I do that as well. So many hobbies. Yeah, I do that. And I thought, why not do it kind of in the way of crochet, since I already do tapestry. So this is a simple way of doing tapestry, but then I don't need to like put a label of my brand name on there because it's already on the actual headband. And that's what this is. And the back is knit. It's just a bunch of scrap yarn actually that's in Most of the colorway is blue and brown neutrals. I want to do other colorways sometime. I was thinking maybe pink or purple. I'm gonna show you those ransom note inspired like brand name cards I have, which I usually give out when somebody orders. They look like this, and most of these just come from like Uniqlo magazines, because they give out free magazines in their stores, and that's what these are. So if you want to order, you might get one of these, but you might also get my new business card, because I have a business card now. Woo! And it's waterproof, it's glittery, can't see it on camera exactly, but it's beautiful, waterproof, and glittery. It's starting to feel legit, guys. Back to the subject, we're gonna move on to the hats, and let's start with the littler ones, which are the mesh hats. This is called Blumenkund, which is a German word which means, I think, flower child. And why it's called that is because, and there's two of them, is because the flowers on these mesh hats are the flowers that were very prominent in my childhood. It looks a bit wrinkly when you don't, but when you put it on, it looks a bit like this. Makes you feel like a fairy, I guess. Yeah. And I'll introduce you to some of the flowers in this one. This is not just the what I made in 2024 video. This is also a what I made in explained video. There's just meaning to everything I make. I love that I'm intentional with what I make. So I'm just gonna explain it to you because that's what I'm passionate about. So at the top here, there's one gumamela. It's called gumamela in Filipino. I'm Filipino. And these are some of like what I see every day when I was a child, even until now. So it's called hibiscus in English, and it's this gorgeous pink, almost neon color sometimes, but sometimes it's like deeper fuchsia. And I sewed on these because it's actually a three-dimensional looking flower in real life. I also, another hobby mentioned, or just another endeavor mentioned, is that I press dried flowers, or I dry flowers and press them in a notebook as a memory of where I go. And with hibiscus, they're more like three-dimensional than some small flowers like the ones here. So it's a bit harder to dry like roses, but not as hard as roses. And, I was struggling to make it kind of three-dimensional. So instead, I just put, these beads that symbolize it's like seeds inside, instead of adding like those a long wire, because it has these, I don't know what it's called, is it filaments or something, with the pollen, the seeds or something. I don't even know what it's called. I gotta research it. This feels shameful. I gotta research it. But the next flower, which is the next biggest one, is this bougainvillea. I think it's also called bougainvilleas in English. And they come in this lighter color and this darker color. Both these colors appear naturally, and sometimes it has these little flowers, so I added that in instead. Like, it's 3D again, but I made it 2D because that's hard to kind of represent without some kind of wire, and I didn't have that back then. So that's what it looks like. And this one, by the way, is easier to press on notebooks, so if you ever find one, press it because it also retains its color really well. And the next is this sampaguita. Yeah, what is it called in English? Like, let me search it up. So in English, it's Arabian jasmine, actually. And it's just this usually five petaled flower with something yellow or green in the inside. And then the last one, the smallest one, is called santan, which is usually like stemming from the colors of red. Sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's another color, but it's usually red to orange. And this is what it looks like. It's the smallest flower, and it's also really easy to press. And I have so many of it in my little notebook. I'm gonna show you my notebook, like at this point, because you're learning so much about everything else. So that's what it is. This has nothing to do with flower language. Well, some of my hats have something to do with flower language. This is just like a straightforward about my childhood flowers. Let me show you my notebook. Little side quest. So this is my notebook. I love where I put this. The flowers are actually kind of decaying because I put it near the outdoor window, so some, I think, insects got in and I, pushed them away, but This is a recycled notebook that was given to me, so perfect notebook to put there. And these are some of the flowers. I started in 2023, so last year, and I'd like to really continue next year, bring this notebook with me abroad, because I'm going abroad, maybe I think 2 times, maybe more, see about the blessings next year. And I want to also incorporate some flowers abroad. And you can see this, these are the flowers. Sometimes I also keep flowers I get from the bouquets I get when there's a special occasion like my birthday or graduations. The other page sticked. Ugh. No, it sticked. So the flowers are kind of broken in this one. But I got this from school and they're terribly like discolored. These are the santans which are yellow, which I'm talking about from my school. The other petals stick to the other side. That's so sad. But these used to be like yellow and purple, but okay, these ones are better colored. This used to be purple. This is actually my cousin's debut. And this is a rose. Sometimes for when it's a rose, I just preserve the petal because it's a little hard to preserve it if it's too thick. And there's a random leaf because I preserved it because it fell into my bag while I was inside a tricycle. Like, the odds of that is pretty, I find it a good omen. And these three are actually santans. I think I got this from Bonifacio Global City, BGC. A flower just fell out. This is a rose, by the way. Flatten it out really well. Looks like I'm taking up more time exploring my notebook than actual crochet, but you don't mind, do you? And these, I don't know what these are. I think this is baby's breath. Another santan, which is oh no, this is sampaguita. Yeah, so this is the white one you saw earlier, the Arabian jasmine. And I have a few of these. And I don't know what these are, but I got these near the beach. And this is, I think, from my bouquet. They were pink flowers. Pink's kind of hard to preserve, but that's it. Yeah, guys. I think that's about it for my flower collection. Hope you enjoyed that part. Oh, there's actually this bougainvillea. And I got this from like a place where they have like old Filipino houses, like traditionally. I think it's called Las Casas. And you can see the colors are preserved quite well. You can still see this is the original color. It just got darker here because I think the insects toyed with my notebook. But that's it. Let's move on to the flower language hat I'm talking about. And it's this one. It's called the Aster Beanie, Mesh Beanie. Okay. And let me break down everything about this. Okay, let me wear it. So that's what it looks like. It's really snug on the head, makes you look like a fairy again. It's just so nice. I think this is perfect during like not too cold but cold season. Makes you look like a baby. And the flowers on this, they're inspired by this Enhypen song called Fatal Trouble. Yeah, really kind of intense song, but such a cute design, right? But the flowers here, their meanings are kind of intense too. Yeah, as you can see, K-pop also, Korean music and lyrics really have inspiration to me. I just try to make it subtle so that it fits everybody, the general public's like, I don't know, they get it. So let's start here. The asters, these two are asters, so I made it in pink and this purple. Natural color for asters. They usually have a lot of petals actually. And then this is called a poppy. Usually also 5 petals. Sometimes 4, I don't know. But it's this color too. There's also this 4-petal darker poppy on the top. And then, what are these called? Oh wait, let me explain this. So the poppies, this one, means forgetting in flower language. And this aster means remembering. Yeah. And forget-me-nots. These are forget-me-nots, these blue ones. And that's kind of self-explanatory since the song is about memories and like I think it's about like next lifetime. She doesn't remember me. Like that. And then this last one, I actually was running out of ideas for what I already made the flower before I came up with the meaning. You can do that. But I made it into a rain lily, which means new beginning, which fits the whole new life kind of lyric thing. And that's basically it. Let's move on to another K-pop inspired hat. which is the one I was talking to you about, the Markov hat. You are... No! Okay. Yeah, if you know, you know. So, these, I never thought I'd make something granny square based, but I did. In my own way. And this is the egg applique I was talking to you about. And, oh my god, there's a lot of meaning in that one. This is inspired by this is about Mark Lee. Mark Lee, if you're watching, I love you, man. Contact me if you want one of these. I'll give you one for free, honestly. Yeah. I'm gonna explain it. There's this whole inside joke about Mark Lee from NCT not being able to cook eggs and Gordon Ramsay. See, I'm really deep into this. I know this stuff. That's what happens when you're in a fandom for like since you were 12. But yeah, Gordon Ramsay saw a tweet about like a fan pretending like, hey, can you read my boyfriend's egg cooking skills? And he's like, dang, it's really bad. And then he turned it into a song. Mark turned it into a song about not knowing how to make eggs, but he'll never go hungry. And this is that. So that's a connection to the eggs. And this one is, I just wanted to make like, you know those t-shirts or those I love New York kind of stuff, like I love Singapore t-shirts and merch and mugs. This is I love maku. This is Korean. This is M in Korean. This is basically just because in slang in Korean it's like they only use like the first letter to represent it, to represent some of the words, and this is M and this is letter K. Maku. Maku. So that's basically it. So it means I love Mark, basically. And then next, you might find him familiar, because this and this is the same guy. And yeah, so this is actually a Mark Lee doll. See, this is insanity. People are gonna be like, what is she talking about? But this is Mark's Cheetah Lee doll, which he acknowledges. It's not an official doll from their entertainment or their company, but everybody knows this is the Mark Lee doll, and it's called Cheetah Lee. So I added him in there. Yeah, and then watermelons. I think this is second to the last one. Watermelons. Which Mark mentions he really likes this fruit. So I just added that in. Normal crochet. Yeah, and then finally, this Spider-Man one. Yep. So Mark, dang, I sound obsessed. So I actually forgot to put like the spiderweb stuff, but Mark's compared to Spider-Man a lot, and he has a song where he reenacts like the Andrew Garfield one, where he like tries to do like all those, you know, how to shoot out the web properly, and then oh wait, my nose is running, guys. Then yeah, this is it. This is why I yeah, so because of Mark's connection to wanting to be Spider-Man and reenacting Spider-Man, I made this. And that's the entire hat. And there's also an 8-ball on top. I was thinking, what should I do for the top? Because there's so many details on the sides. 8-ball. Because it's also a circle. It's gorge. I don't know what 8 balls have to do with him, but 8-ball. Just 8-ball. Did you see me put it on? Did I already put it on? You guys might also want to buy some hats. These are made to order on my shop, Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/KNOTISA, and maybe /shop as well. So I don't know, it fits weird on me. It looks better on my sister, but this is also a winter kind of hat. Pretty cute. It was supposed to be like a bucket hat, but I think this one is just ill-fitting on me because my head is bigger and this is like really small. Yeah, it fits better on my sibling. Moving on to the big guns. This is a lot. This is not even all of them. I have to get like this skirt from the top of that one. I chose to be super productive this year. So the next wearable I'm gonna show you is this necktie, which is kind of the same style as the previous headband, which is like a lot of tassels in front, and I decorated it with metal beads. And I wore this on my birthday. I actually made like 2 neckties, 3 this year, but I gave away like 1 and I frogged the other one. And what should I do next? Let's move on to the other hats that I placed inside my cabinet. So this was actually the very first hat I made. And I made it this year earlier, around April I think. And it's just scrap yarn, but not really scrap yarn. Cause I remember I used every single one of my skeins in the yarn stash in this one, because this is like 8 ply, but it's 2 yarns. So it's 4 ply, 2 4-ply yarns together, or 5 ply. Let me wear it for you. Because this is also one of the hats I love wearing most, because it's so comfortable and just so classic when you're wearing something that's like less colorful. This is perfect. And I made it during exam week. I finish a lot of things during exam week when I'm doing my commute, when I'm traveling on the way to school, because I get to sit down because it's not like rush hour. It looks so nice. I finished in like 2 days, 3 days. Next hat, which is my favorite. I've made 2 of it. About to make 3, because I have like 1 spare. But this is called the Umi hat, which is ocean in Japanese. And I guess it's just like tribute to my, I don't know, tribute to being a citizen of like an island, I guess. Island girl. And I'm really proud of the design of this hat. I can show you the, where is it? I can show you the sketch, the original one, and see how close I got it to the original sketch. Perfect, right? Yeah. Perfect. I originally wanted the shell to be a lot bigger, but like increasing treble is not easy without there gaps any gaps showing, unless I use like 8 ply yarn. So I made it a bit smaller in the actual execution, but so it doesn't show. But when you move your head around, like there's a little surprise at the top. Yeah, this is just a spiral shell. And this is great tribute also to the, I think, the very first significant shell I found when I was young. I found it in a beach called Canyon Cove, and it was spiral. I might have it around here, and I can show it to you as comparison. Then these are just some pearls and little gold beads. And the rest of this is like cotton. Some are acrylic actually, but cotton and acrylic blend yarns just alternating here around each other to symbolize kind of like waves, you know? When I turn it around like this, it's kind of like waves, isn't it? And I usually make this when I have scrap yarn around that's blue, so that's a lot of that. And around the end, you can see that I made like this wave stitch instead of just double crochet, so that it can mimic the waves for real. And I'm just really proud of this hat. It's really cute. So yeah, if you want to buy yours, it's made to order again, and you can check it out on my shop. I hid the shell really well, but it looks a bit like this. This is a more recent one I got like this year, like that. Yep. Now let's move on to the hats from the collection I call like the cat hat collection, because every knitwear designer has a cat inspired thing. I just noticed that like everybody, if it's not in the pattern of a cat, it's gonna have like cat ears. It's just, we love cats, guys. So this is the first one, and it's kind of hard to make because it's called the calico hat. Pretty obvious, right? Because it has the color of a calico, which is considered a lucky breed. So it's made up of these like neutrals, brown, white, gray, and black. And these are, most of this is just t-shirt yarn, because when I was making this, I was experimenting with t-shirt yarn, and I had t-shirts I was not wearing at all. And I saw this TikTok from the creator Loose Ends from Canada, and they used actual t-shirts to just cut it and then make it into yarn. So I did that with this one. So like these gray ones, black, kind of flesh color, and white. Where's that one? Yeah, and those gray ones for the using t-shirt yarn. And this is what it looks like. It's a bit misshapen now, but just kind of a top hat sometimes. Apparently when I first started wearing this, I got a lot of stares or like double looks from people in the mall, I guess that's a compliment. I don't know. But it's a really unique hat for me. And yeah, if you want to get one of yours, just order from my shop again. Yeah, and this is fluffy yarn. So I make everything with like scraps, seriously. Helping the environment. And then the next, oh my god, this one is kind of like beaten because this has been worn so many times. This is called the torty hat. And it looks like a bulk, honestly. It just looks like a bunch of bulk. And it's called torty because of the species of cat that's like a little darker than a calico and has kind of less colors. Usually they're just browns and grays, and they're like mostly black or dark, but they have a bit of color. See, it looks like a top hat. It's really crazy. It's almost the bonnet, like, because it's so big. It makes me look like a Smisky. This isn't like on my shop yet because I'm still obviously like yeah. So this is the torty hat. I made this for my mom actually. She actually just wears the other one more, this one, because it's easier to wear for her. Apparently this one covers her face too much. The last one, which is the most recent hat I made, is this one. It's like a flap hat for winter. What's it called? This is called a trapper hat, actually. And I made this for my class's Christmas party when I went as Hee-chan. Again, hip-hop related. Hee-chan from NCT during Candy era, because our theme was dress up as your favorite character, and I went as Hee-chan from Candy era, and obviously I don't have purple hair, so, and he wasn't wearing a hat during the promotions, like most of the time, so I just made a purple trapper hat and instead of hair, and I really like it. I'm gonna wear this one once I go somewhere for winter. Yeah, that's the latest hat I made, and it also has this really fluffy yarn to it. And that's the last hat, this latest one too. And let's move on to bags. So this is the first bag I made this year. It's cotton and it's freeform. It's a freeform bag. The back is not freeform. I got, you know, I was like, enough. Because I've been working on it for like 2 months, I think, 2 to 3 months. And it doesn't actually carry much, but it's great for like fancy events where I want to show off that, yeah, I made this. And yeah, that's just revel in the details. I made this with a local Monaco cotton yarn, and you can see I just recently discovered how to do Tunisian when I made this, so you can see that repeating in so many of the elements, even from the straps to the sides. It's very much Tunisian. And I lined it. Impressive, huh? I lined it inside with cloth. Yeah. And I'm really proud of myself for doing that, actually, because I've never done it and it felt so difficult to do. But I did it. And before, this is the oldest yarn I've ever had. Little backstory, because the yarn that was used to make this is the same yarn that I used when I was first starting out and so frustrated and didn't know what I was doing. Because why would you give a beginner 3-ply lace thin yarn with a 1.5mm hook? I was just like, I didn't know. So for like 2 years, this yarn just sat on top of like a cabinet there, and I did nothing with it. And finally, you know, just this year, I made this. Did I make it this year? I just know, like, I think I make it this year. But I'm proud of it, and I think it's a really beautiful result of all that frustration I initially had when I used this yarn for one of my first stuff. And as you can see, it has this dyed purple here. I dyed it with watercolors back then. It still holds up even if you wash it. And that's my first bag. The second one is also t-shirt yarn, and it's more than just t-shirt yarn. I actually used a handkerchief for some parts of this. Some parts it's like sportswear shorts, and it's kind of meant to resemble fire, I guess, like pink fire, and it's kind of small, so it's just used for special occasions as well. But I like it. I hope to sell this sometime. I think this pattern is by a Korean YouTuber, and it's called the Jelly Handbag. So you can just search that up if you want something of this shape. We're at the exciting part. My very proud magnum opus. I actually redid this. This is called the Annabelle Patchwork Skirt. I've explained this in some other videos, but this is actually the first skirt I made, isn't it? I think it's the first skirt I made. Yeah. Yep. And this is made of cotton yarn. Yeah, it's made of cotton yarn and some acrylic. And if you haven't watched the video, I'll explain it again because I love explaining this. So at school, I have this research, because I'm an art student, our research is about fashion and textiles from the Philippines. And our main fabric that we tackle is called Inabel. And it's basically a wide range of textiles of many different patterns. And I was just so inspired and I said, why don't I incorporate my own culture into the knitwear that I make, because I don't see that represented a lot. And I did that here and more. It's not just Annabelle, which it's inspired by. It's also inspired by some paintings from our national fine artist Fernando Amorsolo. This part, you can see this print of fabric in so many of his paintings about a young Filipino woman. He has multiple versions of that, and she's wearing this like skirt and headwear, like handkerchief on her head that has this yellow or orangey yellow type of pattern. And then this one is just inspired by Annabelle. It's kind of like plaid. Is it like plaid or gingham? It's just like gingham, but I chose red because I don't know. I just like how it look. And these two are kind of like cantarines, which is a type of Annabelle. This one is exactly cantarines. Cantarines. Oh my god, the accent. And then, yeah, this is actually the most tedious part of the entire skirt because it's really long and it's a lot of color changes. But this is like that swatch I showed you earlier. Let me find it. Hold on. Yeah, it's like this, but just a bit bigger, and I used wine red for it. So that's basically what it is, what I was testing. But this is fully crochet, by the way. I didn't knit for this one. I originally knitted for the design. This is my second time doing it, but I originally knitted in it. But I found that doing Tunisian was easier, and I did that in the Annabelle top. There's a top, and the design just repeats from there because it's a little hard if you have to think. And then this is the last one, which is also inspired by a 19th century Filipino woman's skirt, an illustration of it. And that's one of the more unique patterns here that don't really repeat. It's just, and the overarching like color palette for this entire thing is that it's just the Philippine flags color palette in different colors and shades, because a rule in the Philippines is that you can't use the flag explicitly for clothing. It's strict with it. So I made my little kind of ways around it. And by the way, I made another skirt. It's kind of daunting to get it. It's in that cabinet back there, but let me show you the picture here. It's Claudine Wolf, and it's ruffles. That's it. And yeah, I didn't take a picture of that one. Oh my god, I should do that. Why didn't I? I'll do that. I'll post that. Oh my god, I didn't post that one. Let me post it. But anyways, the last one of the bunch. Boo! That is called the Annabelle Patchwork Top. It has sleeves a little bit because I found that doing it sleeveless was a bit weird for me. Like, it felt like if I'll model it on a guy, it'll definitely be sleeveless. I feel like that would work better. But again, almost the same textiles. Yeah, it's almost the same. So I don't really need to explain it. The opening at the head is like, I'm running out of words, you see. Bilingual. But it's straight and it doesn't really curve, so it's kind of like a straight collar moment. But this one includes Tunisian crochet, and this is Tunisian crochet. It's not knit. I noticed that, like, obviously I love Tunisian, but some crocheters, they don't really incorporate Tunisian crochet in their clothes. And since I'm doing patchwork, I can just do that, since it's much easier to do it like that in small batches. And this is just me top stitching on top for the, this is kind of like a plaid design. It's just random. There's really no inspiration. Oh my god! This is knit! I knitted this. And from the back, this is the crochet patchwork, but this is the knit one. And it's really different, you see? It's like the same yarn, but it's so small in the knit as knit, and it takes so much longer, so I was like, let me just use this, but I'm gonna do it differently for the other side. But yeah, this is Tunisian as well. I just did it with a normal sized 5mm crochet hook. It's small enough, but that's what I did, and it's done. We're done, guys. Thank you for watching. That was a lot. I'm so proud of myself this year, and that's such a good thing, because, you know, I notice not everybody's proud of themselves after the end of the year, but I'm glad to say that I am proud of myself. That's, yes. Tap yourself on the shoulder if you see this. Tap yourself on the shoulder. Say, you're so good. You did everything you can to survive this year. Next year you will thrive, and you will thrive again for the remaining, for the next years, you know, for the next years, for your entire lifetime. So deep for just a crochet video, but this is my life. So thank you guys for watching so much. Hope you check out my shop. Yeah, check out my shop, dude. There's some really interesting stuff there, and I think I'll do a little discount soon since it's Christmas, season of giving. Thank you so much for watching. This is an honor to show everybody my work, my heart, my art. Thank you so much. This has been KNOTISA 2024. See you next year.